On the second try, Messi succeeded in scoring his first of many goals for
in the
Barcelona.
clutch. In the clutch.
Barcelona won their
Bro,
first.
it is football time. And today we got a very special video. Lionel Messi ascending to greatness. That being said, if you aren't subscribed, I want you to subscribe and comment down below. I subscribe and going to be replying every single comment. If you already are subscribed, comment down below some suggestions. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Lionel Messi ascending to greatness. This video is very long, so make sure you got a snack or something, and let's get into it. Join that membership.
And turned into a story of a great talent, stuck in a limited body, striving to prove himself and his abilities. It's a story of mental and physical development together. A story of a young man who wants to please his countrymen after leaving them to achieve his dreams. This is the story of the beginning of Messi's career and how he ascended to the top of football.
This might be great. I got a Messi. BALLON. What's his name? Lionel Messi. Ascending to greatness. Rosario.
In the
1987,
province of
2000.
Santa Fe, particularly in the city of Rosario, Lionel Messi started his footballing career at a very young age.
Okay.
He always played with his older brothers Rodrigo and Mateus.
His baby
And
Messi?
at 5 years of age, he played with the local Grandoli youth team. And despite his age, you can already see his change of pace
What the
and great
heck?
dribbling skills.
Is that baby Messi? That's baby Messi. Look
And
at
despite
this.
his age, you can already see his change of
he's the
pace
same.
and great dribbling skills.
Bro.
And usually coaches at that level.
That's cheating. How is baby Messi literally the same person? It's just a baby for him. Like literally, the skill didn't change. He literally was just all ready to go as a baby. What? How is this possible? He's literally cooking little kids. This is insane.
Emphasize passing the ball.
Look at him.
Nobody taught that to Messi. Lionel played almost 2 years at Grandoli, and they won all their matches. And
Bro.
in every training session, Lionel was disciplined and reserved.
He was born for
Gonzalo
this.
Diaz, a teammate of Lionel at Grandoli, said that there were many talented players that played at the club, but they lacked the perseverance in training. His father Jorge had a say in this. His philosophy was simple: work hard, be persistent, and show humility, and you can achieve your goals. Jorge was also devouring his sons daily with VHS tapes of Maradona, and was Leo's second coach in Grandoli as well. The writer Guillaume Balaguer said in his biography about Messi that his father was his #1 idol. He was his mentor, hero, and he had absolute trust in him. Jorge was also the person who decided to transfer Leo to one of Argentina's big clubs, Newell's Old Boys. Lionel was a key part of what was later called the Machine of '87, an unbeatable youth side.
Wow.
El mejor jugador de la cancha, fuiste elegido por nosotros, ¿lo sabías? 2 goles hiciste, ¿no es cierto, Messi? ¿A quién le querés dedicar este campeonato?
A mi papá, a mi tío y a toda mi familia y a todos los que me conocen.
One of the players' fathers mentioned that Messi scored approximately 100
He's
goals
literally
per
was born better than
which
everybody.
also meant that Leo had scored almost 500 goals with the team between 1994 to 2000. But there was an issue.
So 6
At the
years, he
age
had
of 10,
200 goals
Lionel's
as a little
parents
baby.
decided to consult a specialist after the advice of one of Newell's directors. They noticed that Lionel was smaller than the other kids, as he was about 10 centimeters shorter than the average kid at his age group. They went to Dr. Diego Schwarzenstein in January of 1997, and the diagnosis took about 6 months to determine Leo's problem: partial growth hormone deficit. So Lionel had to inject himself every day with a biosynthetic growth hormone starting from January of '98.
So it's
And it was
steroids.
not cheap. It costed the Messi family between $1,000 to $1,500 a month.
He was injecting the
Fortunately
Hawk
for
serum
his
inside
father,
of him.
Jorge, he worked for a state-owned steel company, so insurance covered the treatment's cost for the first 2 years. But Argentina's economy was collapsing in the late 1990s, and after the insurance stopped covering the treatment, Jorge was struggling to make ends meet. He went to Old Boys for support, as the club president Sergio Almiron sent funds to Jorge on a monthly basis. but the amounts varied. Jorge was asking for more, but there was no response from the club. He tried pressuring the club by taking Lionel for a trial at River Plate. Noels tried to solve the problem immediately, but in the end, they just couldn't bear the full cost of the treatment. Everything was pushing Jorge towards making a very difficult decision. At that time, numerous Argentinian families were fleeing the country for a better life after the economic disaster. Young footballers within big Argentinian clubs were considered assets and ways to liquidate. And for Jorge and his son Lionel, it was well worth the risk.
Well,
after the trial with River, an agent called Horacio Gagioli was informed of Messi's talents. He had a relationship with the prestigious Catalan agent Josep Manguela, whom was very close to Barcelona and was responsible for Maradona's
what the
transfer to
heck?
Blaugrana.
How is this possible? He literally has connections with the best freaking agent person. Bro, he was meant for this. This is literally like, this is crazy.
In 1982, Horacio asked for tapes of Lionel from Jorge and sent them to Mengele's office. Then Mengele talked to his friend and then Barca sporting director Carlos Rexach and insisted on setting up a trial for Lionel. Jorge and his son Lionel flew to Barcelona in 2000 for the trials, and in each session, Lionel gave it his all and was impressive, but there was no decision from the club. When Rexach came back from the Olympics, he had the chance to see Messi at the end of his trial. He was convinced and thought that Barcelona had to sign the youngster immediately. But there were some doubts inside the club. No one wanted to bear the responsibility of a family that risked everything and left their home for this opportunity. And success was not guaranteed, and there were no guarantees that all the costs behind signing Lionel would be repaid on the field. So Jorge and his son Leo went back to Argentina in the beginning of October after missing way too many school days. Many factors resulted in Barcelona stalling the signing of Messi. First, Lionel was a small foreign boy who was only 13 years old.
What?
And La Masia directors at that time preferred local players who were around 15 or even 16 years of age. Second, Barcelona had to find his father some work in accordance with FIFA regulations, which banned any signing of foreign players under 18 unless he was accompanied by a parent. Jorge also asked to live with his son in an apartment outside of La Masia's campus. Third, Barcelona was struggling with several first-team issues after their superstar Figo had left. So signing a 13-year-old foreigner was not one of their priorities, especially with all the costs attached to Messi from hormone treatment to private accommodation. After 2 months had passed without a response from Barcelona, and with Jorge getting more frustrated by the minute, Rexach came up with a solution to calm things down. With the presence of Mengele and Horacio with Rexach at the Pompeia tennis club, Carlos signed a napkin, and he wrote on that napkin that he was committed to the signing of Messi as per the previously agreed figures, and regardless of opinions on the contrary. That last phrase is crucial, as it points to some board members who were against the idea of signing Lionel and all the various costs attached to the youngster. It was an important step before signing the first official contract, and
only if they knew. Wow, it was actually crazy.
January of 2001, all parties agreed on the signing after President Juan Gaspar gave his final nod on all of Jorge and Messi's requests, including the hormone treatment. Jorge and Lionel took their first big step towards achieving their goals, but there were still some difficulties. Lionel broke his left fibula in only his second match, and when he came back 2 months later, he had an ankle injury straight away. And Leo's mother had to go back to Argentina, as living in Catalonia was proving to be difficult for his brothers and his little sister. It was a tough period for Lionel that made him rethink his future. Either he goes back with his family to Argentina, or split his family and stay with his father in Barcelona. But he insisted on staying and was determined to achieve his dream. Finally, the focus was back to football. In football and mental terms, Lionel was evolving very quickly in Barcelona's various age groups. And in physical terms, Lionel was significantly growing in front of the coach's eyes, as he grew 29 centimeters in a few months. He had a fantastic attitude towards training and had only football to look forward to, as he was alone with his father, away from his friends and family, in a foreign city and in a foreign land. It was a tough situation, but that kept him focused only on playing football. In the 2001-2002 season, Lionel played in the famous Junior B team alongside names such as Fabregas and Gerard Piqué. That season also saw the young manager Tito Villanova taking over the team.
Whoa.
In the following season, and under the coach Alex Garcia, Lionel started to truly shine as he played in every match and was the top goal scorer of the team. Garcia used to experiment with Messi in many different positions within the lineup, but Leo preferred to play centrally behind the striker and not stuck on the wings. That team won every single title at hand, and despite the weak scouting system in 2003 compared to today, that cadet A side attracts some eyes. One of them was Arsenal's representative in Spain, Francis Cagigao, who was astonished by Messi's talents and connected with his father Jorge. Arsenal were the first European club to send Leo an offer since he arrived in Barcelona, but too many obstacles made the signing difficult. But despite that, Arsenal succeeded in signing Fabregas. As the youth side thrived in Barcelona, the first team was in dire crisis. The return of Van Gaal was considered a failure, and the new signings flopped as the Blaugrana ended the season with their worst league position in 15 years. Barca president Joan Gaspar resigned, and fresh faces entered the fray. It was a new era for Barcelona, and this new board and management were aware of the many talents within the club, as Lionel Messi signed a new contract until 2012 with a buyout clause of 30 million euros, which increases to 80 million euros if he got into the Barca B squad, and 150 million euros if he managed to get into the first team. In the 2003-2004 season, Messi played in 37 matches. What's fascinating about that season was his meteoric rise between the ranks. He started that season with the under-19 B side in August, then played some matches for the A side of the same age group, and that caught the attention of first-team manager Frank Rijkaard, who was in need of youth players to fill the squad for a mid-season friendly against Porto for the opening of their new Dragao Stadium in November. Most of the first-team players left for international duty, as Messi debuted with the first team in the 75th minute at the age of 16 years and 145 days, wearing
16. He played for the first team at the age of 16. Wow.
number 14 shirt. When he came back from that friendly, he immediately played with the Barca C side for the first time. 11 matches were enough to promote him once again to play for the Barca B side. In the final stretch of that season, Messi was alternating between all of these age groups, excluding the first team. Whenever any age group in Barcelona was struggling that season, they would ask Messi for support and to help them win, either by playing with players of his age or with players 4 years older than him, as was the case in the Barca B side, which played in the 3rd division of the Spanish league. His father Jorge recalls, "Suddenly we went from nothing to everything we had dreamed of." When Messi stopped his hormone treatment at 14 years of age, Barca staff made him a special training regime to focus on his physical strength and speed by increasing his lower body muscle mass, and the change was clear. But despite debuting with the first team at 16 years of age, Lionel had to wait a while before returning to Rijkaard's side again. That first team was restructuring under new stars like Deco, Ito, Ronaldinho, and Xavi. That's why in the 2004-2005 season, Leo was a permanent starter for the Barca B side. Rijkaard was aware of Messi and talked to his father about his extraordinary attributes, but he wanted them to have some patience as he waited for the right time to use him. Leo started taking part in first-team training sessions, as Barca left-back Giovanni Van Bronckhorst said that Ronaldinho mentioned in Messi's first training session that he's going to be better than him. But the reality was that Messi was not ready. He played for Barca B, who played in the 3rd division. On top of that, he played in a 3-4-3 system as almost a second striker. And despite the insistence of the coaches on Leo staying on the wings, the Argentine loved to dribble inside with the ball towards the central areas. The specific role doesn't have a place within the 4-3-3 system that the first team used. It was also very rare in those days for a 16-year-old or 17-year-old to feature with the first team in official matches. But as days had passed and with each training session with the first team, the doubts started to disappear. And almost a year after his debut against Porto, Rijkaard subbed in Messi in the 82nd minute in a tough match against neighbours Espanyol. It was not a change to appease the fans and win them over. The Argentine was asked to impact the match. At 17 years and 4 months, Messi became the youngest Barca player at that time to play in an official match. Messi continued the season alternating between the first and second team.
Yes, sir.
Despite being on the bench most of the time, he gained a lot of experience just by being around professional players, either inside or outside the pitch. Ronaldinho was one of the players that had a big impact on Messi, as he gained his trust quickly and became like a big brother to him.
The mentor.
With Deco, Silvinho and Motta. With Barcelona closing in on a league title, Messi got another chance as he came on as a substitute in the 88th minute against Albacete. With 2 minutes left, Ronaldinho found him on 2 occasions. The first was called offside, which seemed incorrect. On the second try, Messi succeeded in scoring his first of many goals for
In the
Barcelona.
clutch. In the clutch.
Barcelona won their
Bro.
first.
He did that in the clutch. They subbed him in. He came in and made a difference already. That's,
Title
bro.
in 5 years, as Messi played
Ronaldinho
only
was
70
right there.
minutes overall in La Liga.
Shout out
He also
Ronaldinho.
got his debut in the Champions League and played 90 minutes against
While we're
Ukraine.
speaking of Ronaldinho, go check out my reaction to him. This is a recent one. I have 2 actually on my channel. Go check out those 2. And then come back to this video, or you can finish this video and then go watch those 2.
Inside Shakhtar Donetsk. In the summer of 2005, Messi competed with the Argentine national team in the Under-20 World Cup. Despite the many attempts of the Spanish Federation in tying Lionel to the Spanish national team, there was no doubt about his loyalty to Argentina. The world was amazed by Messi's performance in the tournament, as he scored 6 goals in total and 2 goals in the final against the Nigerian national team. Lionel was named player of the tournament after Argentina won the final. And Nike aired an advertisement that reflected Lionel's rise within the world of football. And its message
For
was
real?
simple.
Recuerda mi nombre, Lionel Messi.
Uh-oh. Yes, remember his name.
The 2005-2006 season looked to be the season where Messi would shine in the European stage, but there were some hiccups on the way. The Argentine national team coach Jose Pekerman wanted to reward Messi for his fantastic performance in the summer, with a senior debut against Hungary in a friendly match in August of 2005. But his first appearance with the national team didn't go as planned.
Et carton rouge pour Messi.
Oh.
La balle n'a pas beaucoup vu la main.
Shortly after, the Spanish Football Federation suddenly classified Messi as a foreign non-European player, despite him completing the required 5 seasons in the lower ranks of the club. With Ronaldinho, Marquez and Eto'o being a fixture in the starting lineup, Barcelona had maxed out on non-European players. What's funny was that Messi was registered in the final squad of the Champions League without any complications with UEFA. Thus came the idea of loaning out Messi by the Barca board, as there were some offers on the table, the most serious one coming from Inter Milan and their president Massimo Moratti. But one match changed all of these plans, which was the Joan Gamper Trophy against Italian giants Juventus, with the presence of big stars and under the guidance of legendary manager Fabio Capello. Rijkaard thought that this was the golden chance for Messi to demonstrate his talents. Messi
how
was
fast,
subbed
bro.
with a minute left as he received a standing ovation from the Camp Nou. Capello was amazed and said after the match,
Creo que nunca he visto un jugador con tanta calidad, por la edad que tiene, con personalidad, velocidad, tiene todo. Me encantó.
Capello's words were important as it put Messi on the European map, because Capello was not the kind of manager that gives compliments easily. And here came the official offer from Moratti. Messi's father Jorge discussed the offer with Laporta and mentioned that Inter were ready to offer 3 times Lionel's current salary. But Laporta managed to calm him down and told Jorge that Lionel was in the best footballing situation and the style at Barca suits him well and will help him develop in the long run. The issue dragged on for a couple of weeks, and Messi was still unable to feature in La Liga. Despite Rijkaard still using him in the Champions League, the issue was complicated. But in the end, a solution was drafted. Messi signed a new contract with Barcelona, his 4th in the last 18 months. And finally, in September of 2005, Lionel acquired the Spanish nationality. And after missing 6 matches in the league, Messi was finally ready to participate. Messi quickly took Juli's place on the right of the trio up front and surprisingly started the Clásico at the Santiago Bernabeu as Barca won by 3-0 against Madrid. He scored his first Champions League goal against Panathinaikos and scored his first league goal that season against Racing in a way that would be repeated many times in his career.
Every goal's a gem for Barcelona.
And in December, he won the Golden Boy Award, beating Wayne Rooney by a big margin. Digging deeper into the archives of the season, we can notice Messi's talents at only 18 years old. From that age, he had the ability to change his pace quickly, dribble past numerous defenders in seconds, was always direct in his play style, and always looked to attack and score. Messi also lacked the full vision to find good passes, he lacked physical strength, and also lacked the quickness in making decisions when receiving the ball, and always looks to dribble a lot at any chance. He was mostly playing on his talents and natural abilities, but it was obvious that he was taking the right steps on the right trajectory. When Barcelona faced Chelsea in the round of 16 of the Champions League, Messi showed his impact on the pitch, seeing as it was a sensitive match between the two sides after numerous close encounters in the previous seasons. The atmosphere inside Stamford Bridge was very tense. From the poor pitch conditions to the aggressiveness of the opponent, all factors pointed to Messi having a poor showing, but the 18-year-old was fantastic and managed to get Del Horno sent off and introduced himself to the English and European fans.
I like that Messi 30.
Barcelona drew the second leg, but it came at a cost, as Messi had torn his thigh muscles and was out for a few weeks. He came back to training a week before the semi-final first leg in the Champions League and was eager to quickly come back, but that eagerness had caused him to injure his thigh muscles again. Following that, Messi was back in training 2 days before the Champions League final, but Rijkaard and his assistant Tenkat thought that Messi was not ready. That decision was devastating for the Argentine, but the truth was that Lionel failed to understand the limits of his body and watched as Barcelona won the Champions League final from the stands. Initially, Messi refused to celebrate with his teammates, but he eventually came out of that dark place and had some fun with the team. Silvinho mentioned that Messi had told him in the locker room that he could never play in a European final in the next 10 years. That was Messi's mature mindset from that young age. Barcelona won the league and European double, as Messi played in 25 matches in all competitions and managed to score 8 goals. What's more important than these goals was his impact on the pitch at that young age.
Yeah. World Cup.
After his catastrophic debut with the national team, Messi became a regular within Jose Pekerman's squad that succeeded in qualifying to the World Cup in Germany. Despite his injury and his absence from the Champions League final, Lionel was selected for the final Argentinian squad. From very early on, the president of the Argentine Football Federation, Julio Grondona, saw Messi as the future of the national team. He had just signed with Adidas before the tournament. There were huge posters of Messi around the biggest cities of the world. That was not to everybody's taste within the squad, as there was a divide between the past and the future, between the old guard and the new blood. Nevertheless, Argentina won their first group match against Ivory Coast unconvincingly, as the manager left Messi on the bench for the whole match. The next encounter saw Messi's debut in the World Cup, as he entered in the last 15 minutes of the second group match against Serbia and Montenegro. Messi managed to assist Crespo and score a goal himself. As the match concluded, Argentina won by 6-0. In the following match, Messi played 70 minutes against the Netherlands, as the goalless draw was enough for Argentina to qualify to the next round. Then Messi entered in the 84th minute against Mexico and showed a taste of his talents in extra time, as the Albiceleste succeeded in advancing to the next round. Leo's displays within the tournament didn't go unnoticed for Guardiola, who was writing articles for El País and said about Messi in one of his articles, "He reminds me of the true greats." And now comes the controversial match, the quarter-final against the German national team. Tevez and Crespo started up front while Messi was on the bench. It was a natural selection at that time. After Ayala opened the scoring for Argentina, the hosts started to push upfield in the second half. Then the Argentine keeper got injured as Pekerman was forced to make a change. He also subbed Riquelme for Cambiaso. But the third and final change was the one that created controversy. In hindsight, everything pointed to Messi coming on to pressure Germany's high line. But Pekerman thought he needed a tall striker that can defend set pieces. For that reason, Holy Cruz was called as Messi removed his shoes on the bench. The Germans succeeded in equalizing and then won on penalties, as
Dang.
Beckerman faced harsh criticism after their exit. But his assistant Hugo Tocali defended him and said if the match were to be repeated, we would do exactly the same. Messi was only a teenager and didn't have enough experience, and it's easy to say that the coaching staff was wrong. But one thing was for sure, as Mascherano said, the debate ended after that World Cup. Leo was an automatic starter after that.